Yep. You know what time it is. Bringing you that good stuff, that juicy stuff. It's the Just Noise Sports Show. Got Doc, King Dre, and the Juice Man.
What up?
What up, fellas? What's going down?
Hey, man,
Good, man. Doing well.
A whole bunch of everything.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for joining. My main men jumping in this thing live and in effect. Don't forget to check us out every Friday night, 8 p.m. Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA Finals, and Mama said, take your time, young man. Y'all remember USFL? We're going to talk a little bit about the USFL. What y'all think about the action that went down this weekend?
I think it was a pretty nice kickoff, man. It's pretty dope, man. I think it's going to be all right. I definitely feel like it'll be something similar to like the G League and the NBA. That's kind of how I see it. You know, you got players that probably didn't get picked up or got cut. You got NFL players who probably didn't, get re-signed or anybody, so they got another chance at playing ball again. Hell, look at you got Kevin Sumlin coaching the Houston Gamblers, and check this one out, Larry Fedora. I know some of y'all out there know that, at least the last name, Coach Fedora. His brother used to coach me when I was in high school. So Larry Fedora is coaching one of the USFL teams as well. So I think it's gonna be pretty good, man.
Yeah, well, I haven't kept up with the USFL, but I want to be sure to check it out, and I'm kind of interested in some of the rule changes that they've made, versus the NFL. So, yes, I'm gonna be sure to tune in.
I think the USFL is one of those products where, like I said, take your time, young man. You don't want to repeat of the small potatoes 30-30 by ESPN, where Donald Trump got greedy, tried to sue the NFL basically because he wanted to be an NFL owner and ended up getting the sum of $1. So don't be greedy, USFL. Take your time. I think us as Americans, especially in the South, if it's two sticks throwing around a pigskin, we pretty much going to tune into it. It doesn't look like the NFL. There's not going to be any Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Ramsey's, Aaron Donalds. But it's definitely not going to be Central Michigan versus Tulsa at 11 o'clock on Saturday, waiting for the SEC. So to piggyback off King Dre, I think it's kind of like in between, kind of like a little bit better than a Ohio State, Michigan, or a Alabama, Georgia. So some of these players, a lot of these players, they can actually play. Remember, the World Football League collapsed before coronavirus took everything out. Just looking back to some of those contests, as I stated earlier, it wasn't NFL football, but it indeed was a watchable product. It wasn't none of that XFL crap, none of the Nickelodeon vomit and all that green slime crap. It wasn't fake. It was watchable football. So as long as they continue to market their program right and market what they're selling, which is football, right, and don't try to expand too fast, I think they'll be okay, which is a good idea to have everybody play in one stadium right now. Save revenue.
Now, when you say that, the only thing that bugs me about it is where they're playing at. Like, I feel like they should have chosen like Texas or Florida or even Georgia.
So where they're playing?
Alabama.
Where are they playing? Where are they playing at? Alabama?
Alabama, yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like, Texas is king in football, man. Texas, Florida, California. Like, I feel like it should have been in one of those states that everybody was locked into. But, I mean, it is what it is. They only have 8 teams, which is pretty cool, and it's I think it's going to be interesting, man. It's definitely not the Canadian Football League, which I tried to watch, and it was football, but it just wasn't it wasn't enough for me to stick around and watch the Canadian Football League. Right. This one I'm going to give a shot.
Most definitely myself. I would definitely be giving it a shot. Checking it out. I was caught up with the NBA all over the weekend, playoffs and all that stuff. So I saw a little bit of the Gamblers in Michigan, wasn't it? Saw a little bit of that, had to mosey on down. It was Easter Sunday, all that good stuff, my mom's birthday. But I would definitely be checking that product out. I said, man, the USFL, hey, Start off with 8 teams, save their revenue, not having to travel, this and that. And I think expand slowly, go to 12 teams, run in a couple of years, go to 14 teams, run in a couple of years. So what I could potentially see happening is that first Heisman Trophy winner deciding, you know what? I'm not going to the NFL. I'm going to go to the USFL. And you're going to have a potential situation where Joe Willie Namath and the New York Jets defeated the Baltimore Colts, and you'll have a true Super Bowl if they play it right. Like I said, don't get greedy like Donald Trump and try to take on the NFL. You will get crushed. But take your time, play it smart. We can have football all year round. I kind of like the idea of how the NBA Finals concluded in June, and we ran right into the NFL. July last year, and ran right into the NFL. So I like how that transpired. Hey, more football, basketball wraps up, and then right back into more football. Baseball is baseball. We're gonna check it out in September. That just is what it is. Yeah. I'm not gonna put too much stock with everybody being 10-8 2 weeks into it. You can't really tell nothing. When the weather starts to get a little bit crisp, and it's coming down those last couple games, that's when Major League Baseball will have my full attention.
I think once we start paying attention to the actual players on these teams and see who they are and seeing how how the competition matches itself. I think that most football fans just want to see good competitive play. So I'm excited to see what who's going to be playing. What's the product going to look like on the field.
Absolutely, absolutely. Drake, what you think about those Michigan Panthers, man? What do they look like?
They're gonna be all right. That's all I can say, man.
Oh man,
it's too soon, man. It's too soon, man. Come on, man.
Too soon, they playing the Pittsburgh Maulers, huh?
Listen.
Maulers, okay.
Listen, it's too early to start talking about what a team gonna look like. They ain't played but one game, man.
Yeah, I know y'all remember those Houston Gamblers, ESPN Friday night. I think we was probably around 6 or 7 years old. We used to come on Friday night, Jim Kelly and them boys. It was a good product, like I said. Just glad we don't have no greed in the way, and if they take their time and they market it right, 10, 15 years from now, when we're old men, we're going to have that clash of the Titans, the USFL versus the NFL. But we're going to segue right on into the NBA playoffs. What y'all think about that, man?
Oh, Lord. Man, listen, man, all I'm going to say is, man, y'all know how I feel. We talked off camera about the NBA. Mm-hmm. I really feel like the NBA has got a trash product, honestly, bro. It's definitely, to me, this is one of the worst seasons for basketball. Mm-hmm. I feel like they could have done a better job. I mean, as you discussed, Doc, about that play-in game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. Like I said, it's kind of just like the March Madness play-in game, but it's like, who really wants to watch two teams that aren't even 500 play each other, only to play the number one seed and get beat, treated like what they are? Trash. Y'all not that good. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get beat, man. So how much of America's time do you want to waste with garbage basketball? And the only reason why we got what we got is because, with Brooklyn was because Kyrie was out. I mean, pretty much half the season. He had to play, more of the season, and they wouldn't even been in the position they were in. So, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, somebody had 34 and they only won 34 games and got a chance to get, like, what the world are we talking about, y'all? Like, this what we doing now? But I will say this, just looking at the breakdown, I'm just gonna give y'all who I think, man. I'm rocking with Miami to win. I'm definitely going for Philadelphia. I'll rock with Milwaukee. I'm not picking against, even though this is gonna be a good series, the Boston-Brooklyn series. I'm not picking against my boy KD, and Kyrie is definitely balling his butt off. And
you ain't lying.
Phoenix, I'm gonna pick Phoenix. I'm And my heart says Utah, but I'm picking Dallas. And yeah, Golden State, they looking good. And even though I'm gonna rock with Memphis, man. Even though it looks, really crazy, I'm gonna rock with Memphis.
You know, I wouldn't say the NBA, is a trash product, so to speak. Um, I mean, I think the game is in good hands with the superstars that are in the league now, and guys that are young and up and coming. But I think it's a pretty exciting first round. I must admit though, there's a team that I kind of sort of overlooked.
Hmm.
That's Golden State. I said that because I wasn't sure. With the injury with Steph Curry, him coming off a foot injury, I didn't know how effective he would be. Because I've said it that he's the engine that makes that team go.
Hmm.
But game one against Denver, I mean, he started off kind of shaky, but he was able to make some shots. I think Clay Thompson, he's still working his way back. Draymond Green, I mean, um, he's kind of been in and out of the lineup too, but he's finally he was able to provide leadership and toughness. But this kid Jordan Poole, I mean, he's he's young and you can see that he's learning a lot from being on that team playing with Steph and Clay. You know, 30
I think
points, five or seven from three. I mean, I
think
think they still,
he's
with him,
overrated.
okay,
He's overrated. I
he's
don't think he would
overrated.
be. I don't think he would be
So,
doing all that if he didn't have Steph and Clay to space the court. I think he's overrated. If you put him out there and you put him out there in somewhere like I don't even know the Knicks or something like that, he wouldn't be
yeah.
putting them type of games.
So I guess what you're saying is not him. It's the system that they run. Is that what you mean?
Basically,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. Well, they look like they're gonna run away with the Denver series because
Yeah.
I mean, all they have is Joker and that's it. Like they have nothing else. So I don't see that series. I see them possibly winning one game. Um,
Mm.
the T Wolves and Grizzlies. That I think this game is going to go seven. Um, I'm really impressed with Carl Anthony Towns, at least this year. I mean, I used to not like him that much, but it
What?
seems like it's huh? It seemed
You
like
said what?
it seemed like before, like when he first started playing, he would shoot threes and you know not be physical down low. But it seemed like this year he's like flipped a switch. Um, going to the basket more and being more physical. And
Mm.
I think a reason for that transformation is he's off the field. He lost his mother and like seven other family members to COVID. I mean, he's I mean, I can't imagine what, you know, that he's had to go through. And so I feel like he's putting it all on the court. Um so and this kid Anthony Edwards, I mean this dude is only 20 years old. And he looked like a seasoned veteran in game one. And he put up 36. Um, Pat Beverly, I would not want to play against this dude, man. Like,
Hmm.
he's got that reputation of getting in guys' heads and just being very tenacious on defense. I mean, he always does his job. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, he's always had the skill set, but he's kind of always been inconsistent. So I think he needs to be more consistent as far as his play goes. And then they have production off the bench. So, but I think the Grizzlies are going to find a way to even that series. They're just too talented. I don't see them getting swept or losing it in 4 or 5 games. Uh, I think they're going to even the series. So um, that's what I got.
I'm definitely checking out that Memphis Minnesota series. I'm an Ant-Man fan. Patrick Beverly definitely is a pest. He's a pest.
No.
You know, he's just always there. He don't do too much. You know, he do a little growling or whatever, but he ain't finna bite you, you know. But he's just always there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ja being out a little bit may have thrown Memphis for a little bit of a little bit of a tailspin. You know, he's just not coming back. First playoff game, expectations are different. They're no longer the hunter, they're the hunted. They got that number 2 seed. So people want a piece of them. They want to see what it's about. I mean, Ja, you know, all due respect, Ja is fearless and he's gonna say what's on his mind, but heavy is the head that wears the crown or wants the crown. They coming at you. So it's time to show up. It's time to show up. We're gonna see what it do. I think Memphis will eventually get that done. I see Memphis in 6. The Golden State Warriors are running Joker in the ground. Basically, what it looked like, they're just too fast and they run around circles. They really, really miss Jamal Murray. Like Porter Jr.'s out. They're gonna have to make some moves. Move. I think it's time for them to move away from Michael Porter Jr. They're definitely a totally different team with Jamal Murray being on the court. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand or cannot talk about when it comes to professional basketball. Joker is probably, I'll go ahead and say it, he's Denver's best player. None of it works without Jamal Murray. Kind of like with KD and Steph Curry, when they had the Warriors run. KD, no doubt, 6'11", 7 foot, handle, silky smooth jumper. No doubt about it. He was the Warriors' best players. But none of the spacing, none of that other stuff works, folks. Without Stephen Curry, it just doesn't work. So I give the Nuggets 1 game. Out in the East, it's looking real Miami Heatish. And
you said it.
It is. I'm surprised. Look, you have to realize this. Bam missed like close to half the season. Jimmy Butler was out 2-3 weeks, I think, at one point, and they still were just that team to beat. It's the Heat culture. They're young. They're gonna get out there on defense, and they don't mind mixing it up. They're gonna fight you. They're gonna scrap you. They remind me of a college team. You're gonna have 2 or 3 people, maybe like the Nets. Kevin Durant hit you for 30. Kyrie hit you for 40. They're gonna keep you in most games. Miami has 7 or 8 people that can possibly get you 15 to 20. More balance, more depth, who to cover. I think Boston is going to lose that series to the Nets. I think they're going to end up. I think the Nets are going to. I think the Nets are going to go
7. It's going 7.
I think the Nets are going to end up taking that one. Piggyback off King Drake. The play-in, it is what it is. But honestly, the Nets had no business being even the A seed or whatever the seed was to even be in that spot to play for the play-in game. So of course it's going to draw. They're trying to create this March Madness type thing. Let the college kids have their moment. Don't get greedy, NBA. If you don't make the playoffs, you don't make the playoffs. Nobody that's like, and look, these are grown men. They're not kids. They're not gullible. You can't give them candy. Throw them a shiny new toy.
Ain't no Cinderellas in the NBA.
Ain't no Cinderellas in the NBA. No. Think about it. He's telling the truth. What was the last true upset in the NBA Finals? And how often do they happen? You can go back. Okay, let's just say Dallas. Let's just say.
Has there ever been an upset in the NBA?
I would say 2011.
Okay, let's just say the Mavericks.
2011. Yeah.
Let's just say let's ride with that. Let's just say for argument's sake, 2011 was a true upset. Miami came in with the Heatles, LeBron James and company. Nobody saw Dallas coming except for the Black Mama, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. He called it. He said that's the best team in the NBA. But if you really look at what happened and what transpired during that series, maybe that was all media hype. Maybe because it was LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and company, they were favored. But Dallas was a better team overall. So okay.
The upset would be a team that was terrible.
Right.
And all of a sudden here they come, and it's like they storm the league, they take the league by storm, and it's like, where did this come from?
Right.
Dallas didn't do that. Dallas didn't. They didn't
Dallas
suck all
was
season.
They did. They were not trash all season. As a matter of fact, I think they beat it. I think they beat the Lakers, and because that was the season. That was the year everybody was.
Yeah, they beat everybody. They beat like dang, I remember them talking about it. I know they beat Kobe, they beat LeBron.
They beat Katie and Russ, and that was the year. That was the year they had the Kobe and LeBron dolls. I mean, it was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen. They tried to pull
I don't think you could find an upset in the NBA.
I was just going to ask you. So,
like it's like remotely impossible to find one because, in my opinion, an upset is, like I said, this team that was terrible and nobody saw doing anything that all of a sudden just came out of nowhere and was like, "What? What just happened?" You won't ever get that in the NBA because if you suck, you suck. Either you're gonna get in the playoffs or you're not.
Basically, like the man said, there are no Davisons, there are no George Masons in college basketball. Like you might win a game or two, but eventually the better team is gonna assert their dominance and take care.
Can we say they choked then? Does that qualify like as an upset if you choke it away?
I think they got out coached.
It's not a
got out coached. Okay.
I wouldn't call it an upset on I wouldn't call it an upset on a choke though. It's upset has to be this team that nobody was like, oh, they trash. Like this team, in my opinion, just has to not be good.
Right.
So the only way you could pick an upset, in my opinion, would be like if an 8th seed won the NBA championship.
Right.
I mean, but is that really an upset? Is that really an upset? They were good enough to be in the playoffs.
Well, like the Knicks had a run. They had the 8th seed, but they ran into the Spurs and it was over with in 5 games. So I guess you could say it happens every now and then, but folks, you're not gonna see a St. Peter's.
Yeah, that ain't happening in the NBA, buddy.
There's no I hardly, let's just say the Cavs or Indiana made the playoff play-in game and they beat Brooklyn. Do you think they would actually make it all the way to the finals and beat Miami and run the gun, beating Philadelphia and all that? It's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, buddy.
Not happening. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Keep an eye out on those Miami Heat. I like Philly out there in the East. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. That's every Friday night, 8 p.m. Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Check us out on the YouTube page, Instagram page. We're all over this thing. King Dre and the Juice Man. Smash that subscribe button, that like button, share all that good stuff. We look forward to networking. We're going to get on up out of here. Just know us.
Peace.
Later.